Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reno Improv's virtual stage. Happy October 31st. Happy Halloween. My name is Justin Cavan, and I'm delighted to be your host for tonight's show. As you can see, I spent all afternoon carving a jack-o'-lantern. Very proud of that. So I hope that you're celebrating Halloween in your own special way, and thank you for inviting us into your home and letting us be a part of that. We've got a great show for you tonight. We have scoured the world, scoured the country to find some really interesting people to have some conversations with on tonight's talk show. And I just can't wait to get started. But before we do, I just want to mention thanks once again. Thank you for having us. Thank you for celebrating Halloween with us, letting us into your living room or your computer, or your iPhone while you're sitting around waiting for a bus, all of that stuff. It means the world to us. Tonight's show is free if you need it to be, but we are a nonprofit theater, and we are tickled to be able to do these shows for you virtually, live streaming every Saturday for 17 weeks and counting. And if you would like to support us with your presence and with your dollars, we would just be delighted to have that kind of support from you. Every dollar that you give helps our adorable nonprofit theater to keep going for a little bit longer during this weird time. And we know that we're going to see you again soon on our actual brick and mortar stage. And in the meantime, here we are presenting this live talk show to you. So we're going to get started. We're going to get things kicked off with our first guest here. He goes only by the name George, and I can't wait to introduce you to him, to get to know him, and for you to get to know him as well. So let's bring out George. George, come on out. George.
Yes.
Something must be
Hello,
wrong.
Justin.
I don't see George. I wonder if there's a technical. Oh, there you were. I'm sorry, I didn't notice you'd come on stage already. George, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Pleasure to be on your show, Justin.
Thank you, George. We talked a little bit during the pre-show interview, and you have a very interesting life story. I want to get started right into the interview. Let's tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm just your average, everyday, work-a-day Joe or George, and I happen to just blend in. Some might say I am just facing the crowd.
Now, George, this has got to be present a ton of issues for you in your personal life and your professional life. What kind of business are you in, George?
I'm a telemarketer.
Oh, a telemarketer. How's that going for you?
I have to say it suits me just fine.
And
I may have even called you.
You might have. I don't recall. I get a lot of calls. I'm pretty popular. It's easy for me to lose track of who's calling.
Does this ring a bell? Hello, Justin. Are you happy with your insurance? Or would you like to change?
You know what?
Most people hang up on me.
I feel like I probably hung up on you, but having listened to your opener, I kind of want to change my insurance, George.
We'll take you at Allstate. We take all people.
I feel like we've really hit it off. We've really made a connection here, and maybe we'll talk about my insurance situation. I have a lot of unpaid tickets later after the show, but George, I really want to get into what makes you tick. I mean, what's the thing you're most proud of? What's the thing you celebrate most in your life, George?
Typically, my ability to get along with everyone.
You seem like a really amiable guy. You seem like you're just the glue in a bunch of friendship networks. That seem like you, George?
It's not always been easy, but yes, I tend to be there for everyone But there is a downside to being a social butterfly.
Yeah. I bet you bet you've been slighted a lot. You've been passed up for things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It happens.
Yeah. George,
You're really tapping into a nerve, Justin.
I can tell. I mean, the look on your face is just don't go there. So we can move on a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about your personal life, your relationships with your family, with your friends. How's your family situation, George?
Well, not good.
Yeah.
I must admit, not good.
You know, we have people on the show not just to get to know them, but also to help them out, to make their dreams come true. And I can see a dream in your eyes that I'd like to help come true.
You're a very good interviewer, Justin. My dream is to be seen.
You know, it's really interesting you mentioned that, George, because I have another guest on later this evening who has a situation very similar to yours. He just drifts through life, not really noticed, not really remembered by anybody. He's overlooked for things at work and in his own personal life. I think you two would really hit it off. You might have a lot in common.
I would appreciate that, Justin.
Yeah, actually, let me look at my notes here. Oh, I'm so that's you. I'm sorry. I forgot that it just totally slipped my mind that that's who we were talking to. I'm so sorry, George. I don't have anybody I don't have anybody else. But that's okay. I'm here for you. I'm here to make your dreams come true. I'm here to help you be seen. We've got literally thousands of viewers right now who are watching you. Is there anything you want to tell them? Anything you want to say, George?
It's very lonely in the world.
Yeah.
Just be kind. Be aware of people who sometimes you don't see fully. Just be
really
kind to others.
It's really good advice, George. Now, I hate to keep going back to the invisible thing, the overlooked thing, but it seems to be a pretty big part of who you are. And I'm curious about what a day in your life is like. Telemarketing and having a rough go with your family. I mean, what's the first thing you do when you get out of bed, George? What gets you out of bed in the morning?
Coffee.
Yeah.
I have one of those machines that just makes you a cup of coffee in the morning.
It's nice. Like you have somebody waiting for you to whip it up.
I take it black.
I was going to ask. That would have been my guess. You don't seem like somebody who puts up with a lot of accoutrements.
I'm a minimalist.
Yeah.
At heart, I'm a minimalist.
You know, when we booked you for the show, my PA said that he's George isn't a frills kind of guy. You get that cup of coffee, you get out there. What do you do next, George?
Well, quite frankly, I take a brisk jog around the block.
Yeah.
Because of my condition, I don't want to freak people out, so I jog around the block naked.
That probably would be a calming presence in any neighborhood.
Nobody wants to see a pair of shorts just running around the block.
Mm-mm.
So
When you get around the block, you go 2 or 3 times around the block, George. You're all caffeined up. You're all nice and warmed up. You're feeling athletic. What do you do next?
well, quite frankly, I steal my neighbor's newspaper and read it, and then put it back on his porch.
I from the minute we met, George, I thought, that's a stand-up guy. It's a good Samaritan. You get the news, but you don't disturb anybody else getting their news. Have a good day, but if you can't, don't mess up anybody else's.
Quite correct, Justin.
Yeah. I want to.
How about that dream?
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about that, George. What would make you feel fulfilled to be seen both inside and out?
I would like to possibly act in films. I'm a little typecasted, I understand, but it's always been a dream of mine to perform in the arts.
I've looked at you. You sent me your resume. You've done a lot of summer stock and a lot of community theater, playing things like wind and chimes.
True.
I
put that down under musician.
Yeah, we got one more question for you in this segment, George, and it's coming from one of our viewers. Interestingly enough, I think it's an inside question. It's coming from Reno Improv.
Ooh,
you single, George?
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite.
Quite.
It's my nose.
You heard it
it's
first.
My nose, folks. Quite frankly.
George is quite frankly single, and I think
my nose, Justin.
Our viewership just skyrocketed. The phones are coming off the hook. So I think we'll have my secretary take down some messages for you, and you can head backstage and start returning some phone calls. Maybe we can get you a date before the end of the show.
Ha 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 ha! That would be wonderful.
I'll get my people right on it, George. You head back there, have some Fanta, and enjoy the rest of the evening. We might see you a little bit later.
Ooh, that would be great, Justin.
Ooh, it would be great indeed, folks. Reno Improv is doing shows every Saturday night right here on Facebook and YouTube to your TV and your computer and your laptop and all of those other things that we do all of our lives on right now. We've got some great shows coming up. We're going to be doing this great character talk show for a couple more weeks. We got some stuff going on over Thanksgiving. We've even got a holiday show kind of coming up in December. But you don't want to hear more about that. You want to hear about the interesting, fascinating folks we've got. We got another one on here. We've got, let me see, who's my next guest? We've got Michael Franchisee. This is actually a repeat guest, so let's get him right on out here. Hey, Michael. Yeah, we got a mute situation going on here, Michael.
Hello, Justin. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, sir. How are you?
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Hello. Luigi, what'd I tell you? I told you don't interrupt me now. Luigi, shut up. Shut up, Luigi. You go out there, I don't care if it's a little kid. You get that bag, you get that candy, and you come back and you deliver. Luigi, do it. Yeah. How's it going, Justin?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. I'm really happy that we not only that we booked you for a second time on the show, but that we booked you on today of all days. Really happy to have you here on the 31st of October, Michael.
Well, Halloween is a really it's a nostalgic day for me.
Yeah, that's what you said back during the pre-show interview. I want to know more. Why is this such a special day for you specifically, Michael?
Well, there's lots of rumors and hearsay and this and that about, becoming a made guy. And actually, Halloween 35 years ago is when I became a made guy. It was, I thought it could happen. I wasn't sure. I thought, like, why not me? I'm not good enough. It's kind of like the altar boys, the ones that got chosen, the ones that didn't get chosen. It's like, hey, what about me? But anyway, 35 years ago on Halloween, October 31st, 7 p.m. Well, it was a little bit after. It was about 7:03 p.m. My good friend, a friend of mine, picked me up in a Lincoln and said, hey, come with me. We went over to Bobby's Cold Cuts, and we went in the back, and I became a made man.
Now, I know that this might be a bit of an elementary question, but we've got viewers. We have literally thousands of people watching right now, all over the world and beyond. And I just want to get into that kernel of what you just said. What is a made guy? What's a made man, Michael?
Okay, well, it's you got made and you got unmade. It's kind of like a bed. So sometimes a bed's unmade. It's kind of sloppy. You don't know what was going on there. Could have been heaven, could have been hell. And then it gets made. And sometimes if you're at a hotel, it's made by a maid. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you?
I follow completely, and I'm reading the comments here. Everybody, I got it. Totally understand. No further questions about the maid thing. So I appreciate you elucidating it for me and for the viewers at home.
I try to be as lucid as I can.
This was obviously a very important day, October 31st, 1985.
Oh, yeah.
And, surely changed the course of your life and your destiny.
Absolutely. Oh, you want me to expand on that?
I'd love to hear more.
Okay, we walked in the back room, and there were 5 bosses there. There was the Palombos, the Carbonis, the Salvatoris, and there were 2 other ones. I don't want to talk about them. I don't talk to them anymore.
That's totally fine.
But the weirdest thing was, Italians, we like to eat. So part of the ritual was we had to eat something. And to my surprise, they were all eating breakfast cereals. And being in Halloween and everything, you must be asking, why would these mob bosses be eating cereal on Halloween? And I'm going to tell you why. They were eating Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Boo-Berry.
The 3 spookiest cereals.
Yeah, and I went in and I was like, guys, what the hell's this? And they were like, this is part of the ritual. We're going to take a little bit of blood, but you got to eat a little bit of the cereal. And I was like, hell no. I'm a Cheerios man. And by the way, Cheerios is on sale now. And if you go to michaelfrancese.com, you can buy Cheerios at a discounted rate. And there's very little sugar. Well, there's some sugar in there, but it's very healthy for you. And since I left the mob, I've been trying to go the path of eating right and being healthier.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Michael. The last time we had you on, you talked about a couple of your business ventures, a few irons you had in the fire, and one of them was that you're consulting, you're giving advice, sharing what you've learned all those years to help other people. How's that business going for you?
Well, I mean, think about it. Use a little bit of the noggin there, okay, Justin? Some of the people who have the best advice made the biggest mistakes. I mean, I iced a few people. I didn't actually do it. I sent out a little order for to do it. It's kind of like takeout. Sometimes you get Chinese, sometimes you get Italian, Mongolian. It depends on, the ethnic area that you live in. There's a lot of that. I mean, they're all getting destroyed now with this damn COVID. But anyway, I don't want to go there. No, I'm consulting, and what I'm doing is I'm teaching people how to make money. Money.
I was wondering. Okay, yeah. Now you have my attention.
Well, that's what makes
the $5 and the $2. I wasn't so excited, but you pulled out the.
Well, let me tell you about that. There's a story behind that. You want to hear it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Who's on the $2 bill?
That's Thomas Jefferson.
Exactly. Now, do you know why Jefferson's famous?
No.
They had one of the most popular multiracial sitcoms. It was very, very well known. Jeffersons. In fact, the theme song to the Jeffersons is probably the best well-written sitcom theme song you could ever come up with. Cause we're moving on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment in the sky. We're moving on up. I mean, who doesn't love that?
I don't know, not a one person.
All right, let's talk about Lincoln right here.
Let's do it.
You know what he's famous for, right? Everybody knows what Lincoln's famous for. Best luxury car you could ever ride in.
Absolutely.
All my fellow constituents and my colleagues, my underlings, my upperlings, all of them. What did we ride? We rode Lincolns. You know why? Because they didn't skimp on the leather. They didn't skimp on the leather. You don't get a Cadillac. They skimp on the leather.
Well,
fine leather.
After you left this life that you'd been in for quite a long time, you certainly had to adjust. I mean, you were used to all these fine things, the top of the line of everything. How'd you get up the next day, and how'd you rebuild and build this empire of independent business that you have now?
One of the businesses that we do, in fact, it's related to this guy. Who's that, Justin?
That's Benjamin Franklin.
Franklin. You know what he was famous for?
Something with a light bulb, I think.
Sucker. No. It's not what he was famous for. He was famous for bad breath. Okay? And what did he do? He invented the mint. Okay? Franklin Mint. That's why he's famous. All right? What do we do at Michael Franchise's website? We sell Franklin Mints. They're the best ones out there. You go into a deal and you got bad breath, you know what's going to happen? That's the end of the deal. Right there. That's my advice to everybody out there. You go to my website and you get a Franklin Mint. And then you go into the deal. You go in there with bad breath, not good.
Yeah, I wish I'd had you on the show sooner, because I recently had that experience. It really hurt my feelings.
What were you eating? What were you eating before it?
I was eating chicken wings.
Oh, okay. What kind of sauce? Did you have like hot sauce on there or something?
No, it was the worst. It was garlic parmesan.
Oh my God, garlic parmesan. Yeah, Danny DeVito used to like that. Ever tell you the story about him?
I want to hear that. So I want to hear about Danny DeVito and the chicken.
Oh yeah. Well, this is like 25 years ago. Danny DeVito and it was before he became popular. He was in a few movies, not really doing too much. And I thought I'd get into Hollywood for a little bit. And I met Danny DeVito. And I was like, Danny, hey, I could set you up to something. And he invited me over to his house. And actually, it was on Halloween. What a coincidence. How about that? Jesus. Anyway, we go over there and he goes, you got to try. And he's short. I mean, you could put him in a suitcase and take him to Florida with you. That's how short he is. But anyway, he's like, hey, you got to try my mom's lasagna. And I was like, I eat lasagna all the time. I don't know if I want to try your mom's lasagna. He goes, no, this is Halloween lasagna. And it was, I have to say, it was amazing. His mom had a little vampire on top of the lasagna, and it was carved out of Italian sausage. And there was a protagonist, kind of, I guess it was a protagonist. It was a Dracula, and that was made out of a roasted carrot. And I thought that was very clever. I never would have thought of that.
It's one of the holy trinity of cooking vegetables.
Yeah,
and it's the one I would think of. The first one I would think of. Super clever.
Speaking of Trinity, there was a Frankenstein. Guess what that was made out of?
It was celery. Surely it was celery.
No, it was a meatball.
Oh,
it was especially for meatball. I don't know how she must have been hitting that meatball, and then she formed that thing, and I swear to God, I got chills when I looked at that little meatball Frankenstein. I was like, holy schmoly, that is a spicy meatball.
Oh, Michael, we got time for one more question for you in this round of questions, and it comes from one of our viewers.
Ahead.
Here we are on the show. We're all about business of making dreams come true, and I want to know, what do you lucid dream about? What are your dreams? What can we do to make these dreams come true for you on this Halloween night?
I've never been asked that question in public or online or whatever this venue is. Lucid dreaming I'll tell you what, it's not overrated. I would, in fact, on my website, I coach people how to lucid dream. I'll give you an example. So I teach, we'll go through a little process right now. Go to sleep. Good. All right. You're asleep, right? That's good. Nice. All right. Now you kind of wake up halfway. So you're in the dream world, but you're in the reality world. And you're going back and forth, right? You're going back and forth, right? So you're lucid, so you can kind of control the dream. So what do? You go in and you go back to the magical rat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Magical rat. He comes down on a little carpet ride. Little rat is like, and he's coming on a carpet ride, and he comes down. What do you do with that rat? You make him an earner. Everybody should think about that. You make the little magical rat an earner. The little magical rat, he goes around town and he starts collecting. And you know what happens? If people don't pay, he will break your legs. He's a nasty little rat. Anyway, if you're going to lucid dream, you got to do it in a big way. He's got to become an earner.
Dream big. Dream big. Some great advice from Michael Franchese, our independent Italian American.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Yeah? What the hell? I don't care if the kid's big. You kick him in the shin, you grab by the nostrils, you flip him down, and you get all that candy and you bring it back. Now shut up and do it. I'm back.
Michael, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Can't wait to hear what you're up to next time we have you on. Head backstage with George.
Justin, it was nice to have a sit down with you. God
bless
you.
Always a pleasure, sir. All right, folks. Well, we got another guest lined up for you tonight. I'm really excited to have this next person come on. So let's just bring her out right now, ladies and gentlemen. My third guest tonight, Sister Frances of The Rock. Greetings,
Hi, Brother Kavanaugh.
Hello. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you here. I just want to jump right into it. Sister Frances, you have a very special, I would say it's a gift. Tell us a little bit about it.
I love haiku. I just love it so much. I discovered it when I was a child, and to me, it's just like a little prayer come to life every time I write a little haiku. I sort of inhale God's glory and exhale a poem that's a prayer. I love it.
I feel inspired to write a haiku. Just talking with you. I tried to do poetry in high school. I tried to get in touch with that, but I just never could get past the syllables, sister.
Oh, that's fiddle faddle. You don't have to worry about the syllables. I don't know if you know this, but haiku is Japanese, and if you took the best haiku ever written in Japan and you translated that into English, what do you think that would do to the syllables? It would be a disaster, like a wrecking ball, but it would still be a beautiful, beautiful poem. It just doesn't matter. Jesus doesn't want you to concern yourself with counting and counting. He just wants you to experience things and express the joy about everything around you.
I didn't know that that's what Jesus wanted for me. I'm actually quite relieved to hear that. Sister, when you first started writing haiku, did you just know that you were a haiku prodigy right away, or was it something you really had to hone?
Well, I grew up in a very large family in Milwaukee. Shout out to the Bayview neighborhood, by the way. There were 10 children, and I'm the youngest. I'm the second youngest of 10 children, and it was a very noisy place, I tell you. And I just set up a little refuge under my bed. Some kids do that sometimes, right? Except mine had a little Jesus candle and a Mother Mary statue, and I even had a little pretend relic in a jar in my little refuge under my bed. And don't worry, it was just a little chicken bone from KFC, but I pretended that it was an arm bone from my favorite saint, Saint Nicholas Owen. He's the patron saint of escape artists. And I dreamed of getting out of that noisy place, but anyway, in the meantime, I hung out in my little refuge and I would just sort of, think my thoughts. And then I started writing down little thoughts and little observations, and I discovered that's what haiku is. And it sort of blended with prayers for me. It became my favorite thing.
Well, we've got a couple of viewer comments. We've got thousands of people are watching. And
that's
I
exciting.
think we should get started with how. Let's jump in and let's do some haikus. Let's make this a workshop.
And I brought a lot of them too. I've written so many. I brought some of my favorites to share, but sure, we can make some up right now if you want.
Well, I think we should learn from the master. Give us a few. Give us a few to get to whet our appetites.
Okay. Gosh, it's hard to choose. Here's one from my life. 2 lonely habits on a peg. I kneel by my tiny bed and pray. None life. Isn't that pretty?
I felt something.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is there's no feelings in the haiku itself, but it incites them. It's the inciting experience that creates feelings.
Oh, so we've got to incite some more feelings here, sister.
Oh, good. Can I read another one?
Absolutely. Hit us with another coup.
Okay. Oh, here's a current events one. You ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
Empty streets and shelves. We don masks and keep our distance. COVID. How about that?
I'm feeling some things. I'm incited. Yeah. The feelings are incited.
Oh gosh. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm from the Sisters of the Rock, and we live on a tiny ranch right behind the Black Rock. Have you heard of Black Rock?
I've heard of it. I have not had the pleasure.
Well, there's this big, beautiful Black Rock, and a lot of people know about the Black Rock Desert, but the rock is actually in the back of that, and we live behind the rock. We have a little ranch, and we grow sage and pray, and once a year, we leave the ranch to go to the Convocation of Nevada Religious Sisters in Vegas, and boy, that is different, let me tell you. So
that it is.
Some of my haikus are based on my experiences going to Vegas once a year. Like this one, sparkles, makeup, and cash. We spread out and spread the word. Vegas, baby Jesus. How about that? You could feel it, huh? It's like you're there on the strip, huh?
Yeah.
You know about the strip? Ooh, it's glittery. Here's another one I wrote about Vegas. Screams and wild-eyed stares. The car is careening from curb to curb. Rental car. We're not used to driving. That's crazy.
I'm starting to see a pattern of maybe, I don't want to call it a formula, but there is kind of a natural progression to how these things go.
Well, I do have a style, but some people have noticed that I kind of have a style. Yeah, it's true. Let me see if there's another one that would really get you going. Let's see. Everybody can relate to all of these. Honestly, they're so sweet. Okay, coming up soon. This is timely. Long nights and short days. Starbucks, Santa, and sales are not the reason. Baby Jesus. Yeah. I love baby Jesus.
My baby Jesus. It just seeps out of your pores.
Yeah. He's my husband. Oh, I love him so much. Oh, my goodness. Oh, here's one. One juicy orange. I drink from the carton. Midnight snack. How about that?
I mean, it's just one hit after another.
Oh gosh. Sometimes I sneak around a little bit when the sisters are all sleeping. They didn't know I drink out of the carton, so I blew that. Hope they're not watching.
Say a word, sister. You've got a very you've got an effervescence about you, and it's very clear that this just. It constitutes such a big part of you and part of your life. Surely there's been some hard times, and we're going through some hard times. How does haiku comfort you during a difficult period?
Well, it's like the camera that I take pictures of my life with, and I take pictures of what's happening around me, and Jesus is my photo processor, I guess I would say, but it comes out in my poetry. I observe, and I see what's happening, and then I snap out of it, just like that. And that's a haiku right there. This is the haiku.
And I've never really written a haiku. I'm sure many of our viewers have never.
Oh, so easy.
Started.
Ooh, let me show you how. Wait, let me go over here. Look, I have instructions for you. It's so simple. This is it. You just describe a scene, and then there's action, and then you need a little punchline. And that's a haiku. You could do it. It's so simple. Like right now, what do I see? A charming gentleman. He asks a lot of questions. Hey, I'm married. Ooh, that's you.
No worries here.
About you.
I love it. It's okay. Well, now I'm feeling a little bit more confident because you've just given me so much inspiration. So I think
try it.
Unassembled furniture. The bolts twist around into the holes. Do it yourself.
Yes, right. Oh gosh, that's so good. Baby Jesus. I just want to thank Jesus. That was so inspired. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Was beautiful.
Now, sister, you've lived a very exciting life, a very interesting life. What's next for you?
Oh, well, every day is pretty similar, and I find a lot of joy in that. Just every day there's a lot of prayer, and there's a lot of tending to the sage, but honestly, the sage grows itself. So, we walk around it and pick some, but we don't have to, Anyway, yeah, that's kind of it. Sometimes we work, I will tell you, this explains what we do. A broom, a rag, and elbow grease. We scrub the sun up and polish it down. Sisters.
It
That's
really
what we do.
feels like, now, do the other sisters at the Rock? Do they get in on the haiku, or is it something that's kind of your thing?
That's my thing. That's definitely my thing. I don't mean to be all selfish about it. I mean, it's the people's poetry, honestly. Everyone can afford 15 or 20 words, right? I love it. I love it. It's very democratic. You know, anyone can do it. It's accessible. It's so accessible. But the other sisters don't really choose to do it, but I'm not saying I exclude them.
Have you ever noticed, I would start to say, if I was so passionate about haiku like you are, I feel like I would just see them everywhere. I mean, has there ever been a situation where one's just kind of jumped out at you didn't even think about?
Oh, yeah. You know, I should tell, oh my gosh, last year when we were in Vegas, I decided to go to the shopping mall and see if I could save some souls there, because the reason we go to Vegas is there's a high concentration of souls that need saving, if you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So I went to a mall for the first time. Wow, that was an experience. And it just hit me. It just hit me here. Filmy fabrics on plastic bodies. I'm overwhelmed by color and smell. The mall. Oh, it was something. It was something.
Were you? How success? I don't know if you want to call it successful, but how'd you and the other sisters fare at the mall?
I made a lot of friends. A lot of really friendly people. And you know, I just plant a seed and hope that it will grow. And it's hard to tell in the moment where that seed's going to go. You know, you just don't know where maybe you lit a little spark that's going to turn into something later. You know, it could happen.
I think it could. I think I'm so inspired. I feel like I'm in such a creative place just from this conversation.
Oh, that's great. Have you made one up yet? I don't think I've heard one from you.
I tried the one about my unassembled furniture.
That's right. That was really good. I did hear that. I am so sorry. I forgot it.
That's all right. It wasn't my best work. You know, I'm a popular talk show host. I don't really get into poetry very much. I don't really introspect into my own soul and my own situation. Have you ever thought about, and this is one of our viewer questions as well, have you ever thought about branching out into music, or is this strictly a spoken word art form for you, sister?
That's interesting. You know, I gotta say, I don't take it seriously as an art form, and I may have misled you on that. It's just an expression of the glory of God for me. And I see it's how I express all the amazing, joyful things that I see every day. I have not been moved to sing and haiku at the same time before.
I think it would be, you know, just experimenting here. We've got unassembled furniture, books going into pre-drilled holes. Do it yourself.
Wow. Listen to you. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness I got a job already hosting a talk show.
You are inspired. No, I can tell the spirit has moved you. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I've got just one more question, and this might be of a slightly personal nature for you, sister.
Personal.
When you are you're not doing your work, your outreach, your haiku, any of that, when you're just kind of alone at home in the convent, in the company of your own thoughts, what's your dream? You know, we're in the business on this show of making dreams come true, and you got a moment to talk about your dreams. I just love to hear what those are.
Oh, that's interesting. A dream. I feel like all my dreams have come true, honestly, and I live to serve. I just want to share my love of God's greatness with everyone.
That is so inspiring.
That's it.
I think you know, the comments and the likes are flooding in. People are just so inspired. we've been getting people are Googling haiku. I think you've really started a quiet revolution here tonight, sister.
That's amazing. I told you it's so easy to make friends.
It is, and
Yes.
I feel like the people are just matching up in the comments. They're making friends with each other, and they're collaborating on haikus.
Yes.
I couldn't be happier with the positive atmosphere that you've just infused into our show tonight. And I think we'll bring you back in just a moment. But it's been a pleasure getting to talk with you one-on-one, sister.
Oh, it was lovely, Brother Kavanaugh. Thank you so much for giving me a few minutes of your time.
Absolutely. Wow,
Hi,
Sister
friend.
Frances of the Rock, everyone. Well, folks, I'm so enlightened and excited and happy and feeling, all three of my guests have just given me such a new perspective on everything. And, here on tonight's show, we're in the business of making dreams come true. And I know that your dream is to hear a little bit more from each of our guests. So I'm going to bring each of them back out for what I like to call the quick fire round. Let's get George, let's get Michael, and let's get Sister Frances back out here. Now, this is the end of the show. We're going to ask a couple of quick fire questions. You've got just a few seconds to really answer it. You can answer it as succinctly as possible. Let's start with Sister Frances. If you could be a tree, how would you change the world?
Oh, my goodness. I would let my roots spread and connect everyone on earth.
Love it. Michael, if you could only travel by car or only travel by boat for the rest of your life, which would you choose and why?
Well, it would depend where I was living. If I was in Venice, it'd be a boat. If I was in Brooklyn, it'd be a car. Of course, I've seen cars go off the side of a dock, and the guy wished he had a boat. that was messed up. That was messed up.
George, if you could live 1,000 years, what would be the one message that you'd want to send to people?
Remember the Alamo.
Yes. Sister Frances, this is the final question for everybody. It's the same question. Sister Frances, final question. If you had the choice of only ever eating potato chips or only ever eating pasta, what would you choose and why?
Oh, dear. Wow, that is interesting. Neither of these things grows in my garden, so I'm just a little thrown here. But
Sure.
Not potato chips.
Gotcha. That's a fair answer. Michael, pasta or chips?
That's really a stupid question. I shouldn't say that. I know it's not politically correct to say stupid, but it's a stupid question. Anyway, I'll tell you what. Years ago, we had computer chips, and we were using them hiding them in potato chip bags, and I made millions of dollars doing that. And pasta, I don't know if I could have done it with a pasta, but potato chips, we were able to transport it that way.
Pasta does not lend itself to bagging. Absolutely. George, you get the last word on this. Pasta or chips?
Pringles. Kind of a chip, but not really a chip.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
Exactly what I thought.
You heard it here, folks. Pringles, the pasta of chips. I think that's exactly the ethos of tonight's show. Look for the pasta of chips in your local store. Well, that was my final question. I'm so delighted that all three of you could be on the show. I'm going to wrap things up with the audience here. We're just going to have a moment where I talk directly to the audience. So wave goodbye, everybody, and I'll see you backstage just in a few minutes after the show. All right, folks, just you and me, audience. that was our show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your comments and your questions and participating so actively. We love getting to see the comments. Our performers are delighted when they see you reacting to the things that they're saying, whether it's with laughter or with incredulity. We love it all. Once again, we are a nonprofit theater, and we are so delighted that you've chosen to spend your Halloween night, your Saturday night with us. And if you would love to support us with your dollars as well as your presence and your viewership, gosh, we would love that. We are a nonprofit. You can go to renoimprov.org/donate. If you've got a couple of bucks to send us, that would just make us so grateful and so delighted to have that kind of support from you, in addition to the support you give us by showing up on these shows every Saturday night. My name is Justin Kavanaugh, and let's get the cast out here one more time. We've got Casey Evans, Diana Martin, and Vince Salvatore. Thank you so much for taking part in our show, ladies and gentlemen. And that's it from us. Join us next week, next Saturday night at 8 o'clock. We've got another talk show for you. We can't wait to see you then. And until then, stay safe, and we'll see you next Saturday. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Take care.